Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. Time to start your day and your week off with some good news. Today is Monday, January 27th. My name is Shawn Thomas, and you are tuned into the Good News Broadcasting program right here on the Worship Together platform. This is where we highlight the stories and headlines about good news, good people, and the goodness of God. And we're kicking things off with a street artist's 25-meter masterpiece that's nominated for the world's best mural. So international street artist Megan Russell has an impressive portfolio, and now climbing an office building in Sheffield, England is a 25-meter tall mural depicting colorful birds, butterflies, and glimmering green water. A piece so stunning it's currently vying to be named the best mural of the world. The artwork, titled Revelry, was initially voted the best of June in 2024 in a contest by Street Art Cities on an online database celebrating urban art around the globe. And then that honor submitted its nomination in the annual competition alongside 50 other murals from Argentina, Morocco, France, Russia, and beyond. She says, "It's just been crazy. When June's vote came in, it blew my mind." Commissioned by the Sheffield City Council for the Festival of the Outdoors, the nature-themed mural overlooks Pounds Park and was inspired by local wildlife. And so the artist says, "I wanted to create a piece that would suit well with the length of that wall because it's such a tall and thin wall. And one of my favorite animals is herons as well, so it was a perfect opportunity to be able to paint something that's quite close to me in the center of Sheffield." The artist spent up to 12 hours a day painting for 10 days straight to complete the masterpiece, a process that she referred to as weirdly quite quick. In fact, while she says one might assume that the epic murals like this are ones that work out over long periods of time, it's actually ideal to finish them quite quickly due to the outdoor challenges like weather. And in this case, she used what's called a doodle grid to figure out where each element of the painting would go. And she said, basically what you do is put loads of scribbles on the wall and it looks like an absolute mess. People freak out at the beginning, she said, adding that the image is then overlaid on top of the grid, so eventually it resembles sort of a giant color by numbers. She told the local news that working on Revelry was the biggest highlight of her career to date. And she says, "I had free reign to be as vibrant and bold as I wanted. And it was really refreshing when clients tell you that, and it doesn't happen often." And in this case, it led to a great honor as well. Congratulations. Time for some good news from the desk. Line workers' heartwarming gesture brings smiles to veterans after ice storms. So you remember a few weeks ago we had all that snow and ice in quite a few states. So this is coming out of Illinois. In the wake of severe ice storms in Illinois, a group of line workers not only worked tirelessly to restore power, but also delivered a touching act of kindness that warmed the hearts of 8 veterans enjoying their routine breakfast. So this is back on January 8th. A group of veterans gathered at their usual spot, Riley's Smokehouse in Marion, Illinois. And the bi-weekly tradition begins together with these brave individuals who served in various branches of the military, including the U.S. Armed Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Marine Corps. The ice storm had left many in the area without power, leading to a packed restaurant filled with line workers fueling up for another day of restoration work. As the veterans enjoyed the breakfast, the Illinois line workers wrapped up their meals and prepared to head out. Before leaving, the line workers approached the veterans table to express their gratitude. And they said, "Thank you for your service." And the line workers, in response, and the veterans humbly replied, "Thank you for yours." And so the exchange was brief but heartfelt, a moment of mutual respect. Shortly after, though, the veterans server delivered an unexpected piece of good news. The line workers had quietly paid for all of their breakfasts before leaving. Charlie Kemp later said that one of the veterans, it was a heartwarming story on Facebook, emphasizing the appreciation felt by the entire group. He said, "Can you imagine how we all felt? We should have bought theirs," he wrote in his post. "We greatly appreciate everything that the line workers did for us," said one of the veterans, who preferred to remain anonymous, "and not just for restoring power to our community, but thanking us for our service and buying our breakfast. Hopefully someday we can meet up with them and say thank you very much." All right, time for our good news reporter, Al Rosario, to bring us Talk Time with Al.
Good morning, Shawn, and good morning, Good News crew. I'm so glad you can make it today, and welcome to Talk Time with Al. Well, my good news story today is about a blind artist who creates beautiful paintings using color. Now, let's get into the news so you can find out. George Mendoza, a well-known visually impaired artist from Las Cruces, has spent much of his life turning visions of chaotic colors into abstract paintings. Losing his sight at the age of 15, Mendoza says he doesn't see darkness at all. He sees colors. He says, quote, "If I cut my hand right now, I see a pool of reds, yellows, eyes, suns, pinwheels, and at first it drove me crazy. I went insane with it," he says. But he said that art saved him. Mendoza said his mother encouraged him to finish his education at a school for the visually impaired in Alamogordo, where he first learned to hone his craft as a painter. Fast forward 30 years, and today Mendoza has made his mark through his colorful abstract paintings. Mendoza said his art features concepts like fire, eyes, and faces in the middle of the sky. Today, Mendoza's paintings are converted into quilts and fabrics, sold around the world on a children's book named Colors of the Wind, which chronicles his life, and at galleries, art shows, and museums at major cities like Dallas and New York. As to where the Colors of the Wind title originated, Mendoza said it had been the driving concept to all of his work, trying to answer a question posed by a friend. Now listen to this. He says, quote, "Debbie, a friend who was born blind, had never seen the color green or a tree, asked me, what color is the wind? And I've been answering that question all my life in art, books, and quilts." What an interesting question. What color is the wind? And you know what? I bet you Mr. Mendoza will say, any color I want it to be. Well, I hope you enjoyed my good news story. That's all I have for now. I'm Al Rosario. Back to you, Shawn.
Thanks so much, Al. And wrapping things up with pet stories, a deaf dog misinterprets NFL referees' hand gestures and assumes he's signing for her. So actually, Brian and I have a friend of ours who has a deaf Dalmatian, and she has to sign to Bailey all the time. And it's kind of like baby sign language, but it's really sweet. So I can totally see how this would happen. So this was certain moments people get to see just how much a pet pays attention to what they're being taught and how fast they catch on to actions and phrases. Highlighting such a moment, a deaf dog was intently watching an NFL match, and she thought that the referee was signaling to her, and so she followed the signal immediately, and it obviously left the owners kind of laughing. So they shared the video on social media, obviously. So the dog's name is Dory and was looking at the screen intently as the match went on. And after a few minutes, even one of the signals the referee gave, the dog thought that was the signal for the dog to go lay down. And so the dog went and laid down. And so everybody was just laughing. And of course, they shared the video and everybody got excited about it. The owner was saying that she especially likes the colors that she could see on the TV. And she's deaf, and she suspected recently that she was paying attention to the referee's hand signals, but now she has proof of it. All right, so that wraps it up for this edition of the Good News Broadcast. Don't forget to check out the show notes because you can find out more about these stories right there. And don't forget to tune in every Monday, anytime after 7 a.m. to start your day and your week off with more good news. God bless.